Have you been feeling like you are in a creative rut when you scrapbook? Like all of your layouts look the same? Maybe you're even repeating the same straight lines and square shapes, and you have this internal desire for designs that feel fresh and dynamic. Maybe you also find yourself staring at your paper stash, unsure of how to turn your favorite papers into layouts that you love. Well, let me introduce you to a tool that will change all of that. Kiwilane's designer template border sets. They are an incredible, intuitive, hands-on way to pre-visualize your layouts before you cut into a single piece of paper. They let you play freely with design ideas, sparking your creativity and removing the guesswork. With Kiwilane's borders, you will quickly achieve stunning symmetry, dynamic movement, and effortlessly showcase those bold, beautiful patterns from your paper stash. Let me show you just how easy and fun scrapbooking can be when you start with borders. So this is one of our signature border sets. It comes with 3 different pairs, and each pair has a side A and a side B, like you see here. Now, the borders add a fun movement to your page, which really help anchor a lot of your busier patterns, but also helps you use up the stash that you have. I love how the borders really add such a great balance and symmetry, especially across the 2-page, but it also helps add that energy and movement and interest to your page as well. Now, really, what's really fun about the borders is just playing with them themselves. So that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna start with one of the pairs, and I'm gonna put the other ones to the side for a moment. And I'm going to design a 2-page frame that we can add our pictures to. So I'm gonna place one on this side of my layout and then one over here. Then at this point, it's all about moving them around. You could do top, bottom, left, right, however you want to display those. And whatever you don't do on this layout, you have many more layouts, I'm sure, in your future that you can try another design. Now, I love layers. Why not throw in another layer? It's really simple. You just basically take another pair from that same border, or you can mix and match sets. But ultimately, from the same pair, we're using Madison Avenue set here, and you can lay in another layer like that. You could do top, bottom. You can do same thing over here, kind of mirroring that on the side. One thing I think is really fun is an across design. Basically, you can take the A and the 2B, they are labeled there, and you'll see here that they line up beautifully here for you to just do kind of an across design like that, and it's effortless. So it doesn't really take much thinking to accomplish that. It's just already measured and perfect sizing for you. So you just want to kind of find what size lines up, and then you can do an across design. You could do it middle, photos across here. You could do it top. You could flip this, right? Sometimes what I'll also do when I'm playing with my borders, if something's not working, I'll just take my background and rotate it a few times to see if something else jumps up out at me in that case. Hey, if you even want to add even more layers, you could throw in the 3rd one, use them all 3 on a layout, and have fun with really popping patterns and colors into those borders. And again, the borders help you use some of those busier patterns to help you anchor those more freely on your page to let your photos shine. Now, at this point, once I have a design that I like, let's go ahead and kind of throw in this 3rd one over here on this side. Basically, what I do at this point to trace and cut out these borders, keep it really simple again. Basically, I'm gonna grab the matching pairs. So in this case, 1B, I'll find the 1A over here. So 1 and 1. And then whatever pattern paper that you want to trace these borders out of, we'll do this fun, really busy lemon pattern that sometimes, can be overwhelming on how to use it, but it's gonna be so cute. And I'm going to line it up on the edge of my paper, take a pencil, all right? So just line it up on the edge. Again, you don't have to do too much guessing, or don't have to, program anything in or anything like that. We're just gonna trace along that edge. I take my matching piece, and then this just lets me know where to make a mark so I know the width of those. At that point, I'm gonna put the templates to the side, and I'm gonna take my paper trimmer, and we're just gonna do a straight cut where we made that mark. So I'm gonna do one straight cut down. Very efficient use of your paper, so we can also even if we want to cut one of these other borders out of this other side, we can here in a moment. Then I'm going to take a nice pair of scissors. Makes the world of difference. And then I'm just going to stay towards the back ends of my scissors and do some quick short cuts. It helps smooth out the cut when you do quick short cuts. So you definitely don't want to chop your scissors like this. Just stay towards the back ends and kind of glide and rotate that border through your scissors. I didn't have to stand up, I didn't have to measure anything, and it's really easy, not a lot of fuss at all, but makes a huge impact in your layouts, in adding energy to your layouts, but also using your paper stash. I recommend just adding a little bit of ink, especially if you love the layer look that you see in a lot of kiwilane pages. It just allows you to hide any blemishes, but also add a lot of contrast between the layers. So because we're focusing on borders here, I'm just going to kind of do a quick little glaze here. And then at that point, I would add those back to my page, and I would ink all of these pieces, of course, but I would just add those back. So talking about that symmetry and also kind of balancing out your left to right for you, naturally that happens with the one cut up the middle. You'll get your two pieces and you can replace those. I did mention that if you'd like, you can flip this over and you can do your next pattern. Like we could do, let's do this bottom layer here. I'm going to take the 2A and the 2B, and we would just kind of repeat the process. Let me quickly lay those back out so you can see where it just starts to come to life, and you can see how quickly you have a lot of interest and energy added to your page for you. And then of course at this point, add a few photos, do the last border cut if you're going for that triple one. This could be another fun pattern that you can coordinate together. And then at that point, you're basically done. You have the bones of a really strong layout that kind of changes it up, right? Makes it feel a little bit different than other layouts that you've done. And that's it. From there, you are ready to add your photos and a few simple embellishments from your stash, and then just sit back and enjoy how much you love each new layout you create. With borders, scrapbooking has become simpler, more playful, and incredibly effective. You get beautiful symmetry, engaging movement, and finally a perfect place to put those bold, beautiful patterns from your stash, all without wasting time or paper. If you are ready to transform your layouts and make your story shine, kiwilane borders will help you do exactly that every time.